Creativity is an addiction. Unplugged because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally Uncut because we all make mistakes. So let's turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. The value of really getting to know who, what, where, why, when, and how. Too often, we don't want to ask those questions because we think we already know. So why do we even invest in a relationship if we already know what's going on? And most of the time, you're so far off. Everything is based on an image or an assumption. You do this, so therefore you must be doing that. Well, because that's what research shows, that you got those traits and it's probably what's going on. When that's not true of what's going on. Who I am as a human being away from this microphone might actually shock you. That I'm not really a talker. I am a writer. And through the writing, I'm able to reach areas. But to sit down and have a physical conversation is something that I can dive into when I know there are no time strains. So therefore, the person that's off this isn't sitting here messing around with 3 to 5 minutes, but rather he wants 1 hour, 2 hours, a week, a month to figure things out, to learn to listen, to be a part of. Not by force, just be part of. Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer, the silent wolf. I sit on the sidelines and I observe. I listen. I participate with. And the reason why is because there's so much going on at all times that we're forgetting to learn because we think we know, but we've got it wrong. We've got it wrong. This is The Daily Mess. Now, rarely do I ever get two amazing jaw-dropping conversations with real people and their real lives. On another podcast, I talked about being with Brigadier General A.J. Tata. But I can't walk forward without having a conversation about Chris Steyerwalt. He's one of the hosts on News Nation. He seemed unafraid to talk about any subject. He was all out. Especially when I brought up how the media is often accused of bringing on the propaganda. I didn't expect his reply. He agreed and explained that many journalists instantly gravitated toward this new thing called the internet. And from that internet, they reported what they read. But it wasn't fact. The mission today is way different because journalists still needing to get that story have to build up the relationship with the viewers and listeners that once trusted them, but now it's like, I don't know. Now, I'm going to be open and transparent with you. As a radio on-air talent, we did the same exact thing, especially when it came to viral stories that you knew were going to get people talking and listening longer. I always heard about how we should never trust Wikipedia. Yet for years, how many people do we know instantly go there? Be it for a podcast, a documentary, or just everyday conversation. We rely on Wikipedia. But yet we've been told it's not 100% fact. How do you walk forward and receive the information that you plant inside your mind, body, and soul? Is there a journalist that you trust? And do you also see the evolution of how they are becoming greater communicators as well as reporters on facts and not what is sitting on the web? You can instantly tell who's doing that. You feel it. It generates a lot of negative energy inside of you. But when you really bump into a true journalist, that's when you know, maybe I can invest some trust in this. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've really put a lot of time into listening to podcasts from these journalists, because they're not just spending 5 minutes on a story. We're talking years, and they have teams to help bring the facts forward on these lengthy podcasts. So think about that. The next time that you're listening to a story, how are you receiving it? And the one that is sending it, did they do their job? Is it based on fact or is it fact? I'm Arroe, and that's The Daily Mess.